We're live.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for attending today's Planning Commission meeting. Today's June 11th, 2026. The commission is convening today to discuss amendments to the capital program and budget. The commission is required to review these items. Our vote will advise the mayor and council prior to their actions. The bills on our agenda will be reviewed at various council committees and city council, where the meetings will be held publicly and open to comment. Please be respectful of the process and all the individuals participating in this meeting. We appreciate the dedication and the enthusiasm everyone's giving to this process. Please also be aware that while anyone can speak to any agenda item, staff and commissioners might not respond to every question or comment here today. During public comment, please only speak to the agenda items that are being reviewed at that time. Please do not restate comments or questions that other members of the public have already commented on. The commission may also request that comments from the public be limited in time so that everyone may have a chance to participate today. And finally, I want to take the time to thank staff for putting these meetings together. A lot goes into it, as we know. I'll now call the meeting to order and hand it back over to staff to start the meeting.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. David Fecto with the legislative team here at the City Planning Commission with an important safety announcement. Your safety is our priority. You are currently in room 18029. If there is an emergency, please listen to announcements on the loudspeaker, which will provide safety information. If you do not hear an announcement, please follow the directions of security officers or City Planning Commission staff. There are two doors along the side wall to your left. These doors lead out to the elevator lobby. If an order is given to evacuate the building, the nearest stairway is to your right. Once you reach that lobby, follow the exit signs to reach the stairway. If an order is given to evacuate the building, the rally point is at Love Park. We ask that you please remain at the rally point so that we can account for you. Restrooms are in the lobby across from the elevators. And now I'll turn the meeting back over to Nina Solomonic, who will be our moderator today, for some information on how our meeting will be conducted.
Good morning and welcome to the June 11th, 2026 Philadelphia City Planning Commission meeting. I'm Nina Solomonic with the Planning Commission staff, here to review some brief housekeeping procedures for today's meeting. During the meeting, each agenda item will be presented by a member of the Planning Commission staff. Following each presentation, the chair will ask the commissioners for questions or comments. The chair will then ask the audience for questions and comments. After that, the commissioners will finish their discussion and vote. If you would like to speak during an agenda item's public comment period, click or tap on the raise hand button at the menu bar on the bottom of your screen at any time during the agenda item. You'll be called on by the chair and have the opportunity to speak to the commission and the audience. If you're calling into the meeting by phone, you can press *9 to raise your virtual hand to speak. Please use the Q&A function only if you have questions about the meeting process. Please do not use it for testimony. This meeting is being recorded and will later be posted to our website. If you're in our audience in person, please come to the table when the chair asks for public comments. Write your name on the paper provided, turn on the microphone, and speak to the commissioners. Thank you for joining us today, and now I'll turn the meeting over to Jesse Lawrence, the commission chair.
Thank you so much, Nina. I will now call roll, starting with Commissioner Clinton.
Present.
Commissioner Brown.
Present.
Commissioner Eiding.
Here.
Commissioner Somerville.
Here.
And I believe moving to members that are online, Commissioner Valle.
Here.
And do we have Commissioner Gonzalez online as well?
Yes, here.
Thank you so much. And I will now move into the agenda as is. First off, I'll call for the approval of minutes. We actually have the meeting minutes for the meeting of March 19th, 2026. Hopefully, commissioners have had a chance to review these minutes. Any questions, comments, or requests for revisions or deletions on those minutes as presented from any of the commissioners?
Motion to pass the minutes as written.
We have a motion on the table to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much. I will now actually jump into the agenda to announce a couple things. As you may have seen there, the agenda is posted. The agenda is posted outside with a few amendments. I want to call out those amendments of a couple of action items that have been added. But before I actually call out those action items, I also want to call out a revision to the existing item 2A. We have on the agenda today for 2A will be amending budget bill number 260199. Just a point of clarity, that bill number should be 260200. And it's not adopting the operating budget, it is adopting the capital budget for fiscal year 2027. So also, in addition to that revision, again, two items have been added to the agenda. And I'll call for a vote for these in a second, but just want to kind of restate what those action items are. Action item for property bill number 260258, that involves a conveyance for 5501 Tacony Street. There's also an action item now on the agenda for a sidewalk cafe, bill number 260533, which will amend a particular section of the code to carry out that. Just to give a little context for those two additional items, it was brought to our attention that these items we missed the opportunity to introduce these items in the May meeting, and we did not hear them. What I do want to recognize is that once these items are added to the agenda, we will follow a typical process of presentation, public comment, vote, so on and so forth. Our staff will then amend the agenda items onto the publicly posted agenda within 24 hours of this meeting. We will also explain the amendment and the vote on that amendment and the announcement of the reason for adding these amendments in our meeting minutes. So again, these are two items that are timely, need to be presented today so that they can meet a deadline for council session. And at this point, in addition to the addition of those items and recognizing the amendment, the revision that needs to be made to budget bill number 2600 from 199 to 200, again, crossing out operating and correcting it for capital budget purposes. I'll now call for a vote to make these revisions to today's agenda. Is there a vote from commissioners?
Vote to make the revisions to the agenda.
Okay, we have a vote on the table from Commissioner Brown, properly seconded by Commissioner Clinton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. I believe we have additional items on the agenda today. All right, and I'll now move into the business of the agenda as modified. The first action item on today's agenda, again, is for the amendment of fiscal year 2027 capital program and fiscal year 2027 capital budget. And we will present both these items together and we'll call for votes separately on both of them.
Thanks,
Abby?
Jesse.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Abby Sabatka-Briner. I use she and they pronouns, and I'm the community health planner on the policy and analysis team. Our team works on the capital program and budget, and today we're here to present the amended FY27 through 32 capital program and FY27 capital budget. Going forward, you'll likely hear me switch back and forth between saying fiscal year and FY. FY is the abbreviation for fiscal year, and both terms mean the same thing in the context of this presentation and the amended capital program and budget. To provide a bit of context while we're here today, the Planning Commission is charter mandated to prepare and recommend a capital program for the next 6 fiscal years and a capital budget for the next fiscal year. We met back in March to fulfill that obligation. City Council may remove projects from the capital program and budget, but may not add or expand projects without seeking recommendations from the Planning Commission. City Council and the Mayor agreed on the FY 2027 through 32 capital program and the FY 2027 capital budget on June 4th, and the agreement included several adjustments that require the Planning Commission's review today. The Planning Commission staff, through the policy and analysis team, take a leading role in working with the Budget Office to develop the capital program and budget. And this process begins every year in August and runs until June. The steps include, as seen on the slide, preparation for the capital process, the request phase where departments submit their proposed projects, the review phase where proposed projects are considered against priorities and limitations, the recommend phase where a financially constrained list of priority projects is developed, and the revised phase where the mayor, city council, and members of the public debate and make changes to the recommended program and budget. We are currently in the revised phase of the process, so I will now explain the adjustments that have been made since the recommended program and budget were presented in March. First, aviation has reduced the amount of carry forward appropriations as seen in the recommended capital budget so that $100 million in carry forward funding remains across the program years. This is a reduction of $680,877,000 that does not reflect a change in projects, but rather a reconciliation of their accounting. On the screen, you'll see how much of the carry forward budget remains from each of the funding sources. $23,500,000 of federal carry forward funds, $4 million of private carry forward funds, $3,300,000 of state carry forward funds, $6,200,000 of self-sustaining operating revenue, and $63 million of self-sustaining carry forward loans. Next, under Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, also called PPR as an abbreviation, received an additional $1,669,000 of CN funding program for renovations and improvements to facilities, including $269,000 of CN funding for Hayes Playground court replacement, $600,000 of CN funding for Waterview Recreation Center improvements, pictured here, $300,000 of CN funding for Commerce Street Park improvements, and $500,000 of CN money for elevator improvements and masonry work at the Mummers Museum. Next, the street department is receiving an additional $1,500,000 for streetscape improvements along the Avenue of the Arts and another $200,000 of CN funding for streetlights in Council District 10. The streets department is also receiving an additional $39,500,000, of CN funding for cost sharing agreements related to bridges in the city. This includes $11,800,000 of funding for the agreement with PGW, so that funding source falls into the category of other government agencies, or TB, and $27,800,000 of private funding for the agreement with Pico, Verizon, and Comcast, seen here, PB. The water department will receive $9 million from their self-sustaining operating revenue funds for PWD vehicles, and another $17,600,000 of private funding to support improvements at treatment facilities related to PFAS. So overall, the amended FY27 capital budget reflects a decrease of $611,359,000, and the table on the screen reflects the funding categories that were adjusted, so I will read the revised numbers now for the record. $284,539 of new loans, $1,673,892,000 of self-sustaining carried forward funds, $246,980,000 of operating revenue, $17,761 from other government agencies, $421,090,000 of state carry forward funding, $135,475,000 of private carry forward funding, $90,258,000 of private loans, $984,501,000 of federal carry forward funds, and the amended FY27 capital budget totals $6,980,568. There were no proposed changes to the out years of the capital program, so the total for FY27 through 32 decreases by the same $611,359. This brings the total FY 27 through 32 program to $21,521,197,000 and brings the total FY 27 budget to $6,980,567,000, which does not include off-budget funds. As we look forward, the next steps to adopt and approve the capital program and budget include the final review and vote by City Council to adopt this amended capital budget. And after all of these steps are completed, the Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority, also known as PICA, will review the adopted budget and give its final approval. And finally, staff recommendation is for approval.
Thank you so much, Abby. Folks, we have a staff recommendation for the approval of the amended fiscal year 2027 to 32 capital program and FY 27 capital budget as well. Again, we are referring to bill numbers 260-200 and 260-201. Taking 260-200 first, the capital budget. Are there any questions from the commissioners on the amendments as presented and the staff recommendation for approval of item 2A today? Seeing none, do we have any questions in the audience or comments from the audience? Seeing none, Nina, do we have anybody online?
No hands at this time.
All right. Taking these items separately, again, I will now call for a vote to accept the staff recommendation for approval of bill number 260-200, which is item 2A here today. Is there a vote?
Motion to accept the recommendation for approval.
Motion on the table for
Second.
approval, properly seconded by Commissioner Clinton. I will now call roll. Commissioner Clinton?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Iden?
Aye.
Commissioner Somerville?
Aye.
Commissioner Valle?
Aye.
And Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Now moving on to the staff recommendation for approval of bill number 260-201, which will amend that particular bill and adopt a capital program for the six fiscal years, 2027 to 32. Any questions on the staff recommendation for approval for item 2B here today? Seeing no questions from the commissioners, making sure we don't have anybody online, from any of the commissioners online.
No hands online.
All right. Is there anybody in the audience would like to comment on the item as presented here today for recommendation and approval? All right, and again, no hands online. I'll now call for a vote to accept the staff recommendation for the approval of amendments to bill number 260-201, which is item 2B on today's agenda. Is there a vote or motion?
Motion to accept the recommendation for approval.
We have a motion on the table from
I
Commissioner
second.
Iden, properly seconded by Commissioner Somerville. I'll now poll Commissioner Clinton,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Iden,
Aye.
Commissioner Somerville,
Aye.
Commissioner Valle,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the added items on here today, which were voted to include on today's agenda. We have action item number, bill number 260-528, and that involves 5501 Tacony. Paula will present that item. Hey, Paula.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Paula Brumbelow Burns. I'm Director of Legislation at the Planning Commission. Today, we're presenting Property Bill 260528, which authorizes Philadelphia Authority for Industrial Development, known as PAID, to convey fee simple title to all or a portion of property known as 5501 Tacony Street for less than fair market value under certain terms and conditions. Here is a photo of the property, and it is a former PennDOT easement that's adjacent to the Franklin Arsenal site. And the Franklin Arsenal site has a need for parking, and that this old easement has limited use for potential of the property. So PAID and Commerce Department have worked with the Arsenal to acquire this property, or have them acquire this property to be used for additional parking that cannot be accommodated at the historical property. As far as I know, there's been no public outreach. The Planning Commission had just gotten this bill to make sure we took it before council went on break. So we recommend, approval.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
All right, we have a staff recommendation for approval for property bill number 260528, which will convey the easement that was presented to here today, the property known as 5501 Tacony Street. Are there any questions from the commissioners on the staff recommendation for approval of this bill here today?
Not a question, just a statement. I'm happy to see this moving forward for various reasons. The Frankfurt Arsenal, it's been a tough site to develop. So as we move forward and for additional development in this area, recommendation, yeah. To move forward.
Sounds good to me, Commissioner Somerville. Thank you for that insight. Any more comments from commissioners or anybody online? Nina? No hands? Any questions, comments, concerns coming from the audience in attendance here today? Seeing none and circling back to Nina to make sure there are no audience members online with questions still.
No hands.
All right, seeing as such, we have a staff recommendation for approval for property bill number 260528. Is there a motion to accept the staff recommendation for approval of this bill here today?
Motion to accept staff recommendation.
I second.
Motion on the table from Commissioner Brown, properly seconded by Commissioner Somerville. I'll now poll Commissioner Clinton,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Iden,
Aye.
Commissioner Somerville,
Aye.
Commissioner Valle,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, moving to the last addition on today's agenda, which is bill number 260533. That will be also presented by Paula. Hi again, Paula.
Good afternoon. As again, I'm still Paula Brumbelow Burns. And this bill is amending section 9208 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sidewalk Cafes, which will revise remedies and provide for enforcement of sidewalk cafes provisions, all under certain terms and conditions. So this is a little bit different than our normal sidewalk cafe, where we're looking at that individual sidewalk. These are been referred to us by the law department for review. And it will amend section 96208 by addressing penalties for repeat offenders and allowing for active application enforcement. The bill was amended at the Streets Committee to include not only the 1st district as written, but also the 2nd, 5th, and 8th districts. This bill does expire in October 2026 at the end of the FIFA World Cup, MLB All-Star Game, and 250 events. So what this bill is going to be applying to is if they had an application for a sidewalk cafe prior to June 1st, if they are if they have an application in and it's waiting its review by the Department of Streets, if there is an agreement between the restaurant owner and the city for the sidewalk cafe, that the restaurant is located where they are permitted and that they are pursuant to a special ordinance. So they can't just open up a cafe that has not already been, had an approved location. And it maintains tables and chairs placed in accordance with the subsection of 6, but has not neither erected nor constructed any structure. So it's not for streeteries. And so basically this is just allowing them additional enforcement for what is a sidewalk, considered a sidewalk cafe. All of this section will expire on October 1st, 2026. We recommend staff approval the staff recommendation is approval for this bill.
Thanks again, Paula. We have a staff recommendation for the approval of Sidewalk Cafe Bill number 260533. Are there any questions on the staff recommendation presented here today? Commissioner Iden?
Yeah, I think a little clarification because, Joe's not with us anymore, but we concern ourselves with haphazard putting out tables and things. And 6 foot has always been a guesstimate when people turn their table around when it's a minimum 6 foot. It's not going to change our enforcement going forward. I can understand we're going through a crazy time, but I want to make sure it's not going to change the way we do business.
Yes, it doesn't lessen any of the requirements that are required to get that sidewalk cafe permit, but all it does is allow the city to do enforcement, not just in one enforcement, but a repeat offender enforcement.
Maybe we can carry that forward. Thank you.
And thank you for that response. Good question, Commissioner Iden. Are there any more questions from the commissioners on this item?
Yes, this is Commissioner Gonzalez. I just have a question. I mean, I think it sounds like a good amendment. Why not leave it in the books, going forward? Why end it? What was the reasoning for that?
This is Paula. I am not sure. This is something we would not normally have taken. So we can make the suggestion to Councilman Squilla's office, who was the sponsor of the bill, that this is something that could benefit the city in the future unless Commissioner Clinton has more information than I do.
Does the bill allow for permissiveness that ends in 2026?
I do not believe so. This was about enforcement according to the text of the bill.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think let me translate what I think you said. The Streets Department and through council has been authorized to give additional permits. Those permits would expire on October 1st, along with the enforcement of these special permits. Okay. That sounds like something.
Thank you for the clarity. Need anybody online other than, I believe Commissioner Gonzalez asked a question. How about Commissioner Valle? No hand up.
No hands.
Okay. Director Howell, I think you had a comment.
Just a comment before the vote. I'm looking at the bill online and it has some amendments. They're really technical. Changing district to districts, just wording. And so we might want to recommend for approval with the amendments.
Appreciate that, Director Howell. Any questions from anybody in attendance in the audience? All right. And Nina, one last check.
No hands.
All right. All right, folks, appreciate the dialogue, and clarity as well, Commissioner Clinton. And Director Howell, we have a staff recommendation for approval for sidewalk bill number 2605533, which has been amended as Director Howell's described. Is there a motion to accept the staff recommendation of approval of bill number 2605533?
I move to accept the recommendation with amendments.
Commissioner Iding has a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner, properly seconded by Commissioner Brown. Thank you. And I'll now call roll. Commissioner Clinton.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Iden.
Aye.
Commissioner Somerville.
Aye.
Commissioner Valle.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. That now concludes the agenda. Appreciate everyone's patience with the amendments that were presented here today. Any old business or new business to be addressed here today? All right, seeing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? We have a motion from Commissioner Iding. Is there a second?
I second.
Commissioner Gonzalez seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time.
Thank
you.